You've touched a little bit on diversity and the fact that our school is extraordinarily diverse, particularly in Greece. And one of the ways that we can ensure we have diversity at our school is through financial aid. And across the whole organization, over 50% of our students are receiving some form of financial help. Can you talk to our audience a little bit about why it's important to you, why financial aid is important to you, and why scholarships and giving to the school is important? Because a lot of what we're able to give back to students is from our donors and our alumni giving back. So if you could talk a little bit about why that's important to the education, the holistic experience.
Right. It's absolutely essential. And just to be clear, so people know this, at Pierce, right, about a third of the students at Pierce are receiving financial assistance and scholarship. Roughly 50% of the students at Deree are receiving financial aid and scholarships of some sort. So it's a huge portion of our students. And there are really two central reasons for this, why it's so important. Right? The first is that there is an amazing amount of potential that exists across a society. And I think of potential as being equally distributed and opportunity being concentrated, right? And so if you only educate the people who have the opportunity to be successful, you are wasting an immense amount of talent, right? Greece can't afford to do that. The world can't afford to do that, right? So how do you make sure that potential has the opportunity to be realized when opportunity isn't equally distributed? Well, there's one of the most important ways to do that is by actively providing aid and assistance to the people who weren't provided that when they were young, whose parents can't afford to send them to the best quality schools, who come from other countries seeking, to unfold their excellence, but because they had to, flee persecution, weren't able to bring anything with them, right? So if you can provide aid and assistance so that people can access this amazing education, you're benefiting those students and you're benefiting the world. The second reason it's important is for all of our students, right? So part of the experience of the kind of education that the American College of Greece provides, at Pierce, at Deree, at Alba, involves the building of student communities, right? One of the things that distinguishes us is that people are here, right? Walking down to the studio today, there's students everywhere, and they're here on our campus, and they see one another, and they learn from one another outside of the classroom, right? They're not just showing up for the exam, right? And the more diversity of perspectives and experience and opportunity in Greece and globally that you can bring to that community, the more students will learn. And I think, I assume the alums listening to this have had that experience. Like, you think about where did you learn the most in your time at Pierce or at Deree, right? It was probably conversations with your colleagues, with your fellow students, things that you didn't expect. The more diversity of perspective and background that you can bring to that, the more people learn, and the better their lives will be.